Chemistry channel with Sarwat Ahmed. This is O level chemistry paper 1 multiple choice 5070 variant 1 2 in variant 1 2 May June from May June to 2019. Let's start. The diagram shows four different methods of collecting gases. Which method is suitable for uh, collecting gas which has the properties described? Method for collecting gas. Method 1, less denser than air and soluble in water. Method 1 is less soluble in air. This is not used for less soluble in air. This is more denser than air. So this is incorrect. Method 2 is dense than air and soluble in water. Method 2 is dense than air and soluble in water. Method for collection is this will be correct because this is used denser than air and soluble in water can be collected in gas syringe. B is correct option. Method 3, less denser than air and soluble in water. This is used for less denser than air is correct but insoluble in water. So this is also incorrect. D4, denser than air and insoluble in water. Denser than air this is lighter than air. Lighter than air, this method is used for lighter than air and insoluble in water. So this is also incorrect. B option is correct. Question number 2. After acidification with dilute nitric acid, a colorless solution of X reacts with aqueous silver nitrate to give white precipitate. Calcium iodide react with silver nitrate. This is form silver iodide and calcium nitrate. This is solid and it's a yellow precipitate. PPTs. Copper 2 chloride AgNO3 to form silver chloride plus copper nitrate, aqueous and solid. This is white precipitate. So B option, not white, AgCl, copper 2 nitrate, dilute nitric acid colorless solution. So this is not colorless solution, this is blue solution. So this is incorrect. Lead 2 iodide plus silver nitrate, lead iodide and lead nitrate. This is colorless solution but yellow precipitate. Colorless solution. And sodium chloride NaCl plus silver nitrate to form NaNO3 colorless solution, aqueous and white precipitate, solid. So this option is correct. Question number 3. The diagram represents a chromatogram of colorless acids present in a drink. The chromatogram has been treated with a locating agent. Also, table of RF values for the possible acids is shown. So there are 3 spots: spot 1, spot 2 and spot 3. So just measure the distance traveled by spot 1, spot 2 and spot 3, which are respectively 0.8 is 1, 0.1.15 is 2 and 3.2.5 is of 3 spot. So total distance covered by the solvent is the 5 centimeter cube, 5 centimeter, and this is centimeter, centimeter and centimeter. So RF value is calculated by dividing the distance traveled by the spot divided by, distance traveled by the spot divided by distance traveled by the solvent. This is spot 1, 0.85 cm is equal to 0.16. Spot 2 to 1.15 divided by 5 cm 0.23, and 3 spot 2.55 cm is equal to 0.50. So let's match the assets. This is 0.2 malic acid, 0.23 is the malic acid, 0.5 is the succinic acid, and 0.16 is the citric acid. So one is the citric acid, second is the malic acid, and third is the succinic acid. So the correct option is citric acid, malic acid and lactic acid. Citric acid, malic acid, succinic acid. B is correct option. Question number: which gas will diffuse at the fastest rate at the same temperature and pressure? The gas with lower MR diffuses quickly and diffuse at the faster rate. Argon is 40, C3H8 12 into 3 plus 8 is equal to 36, 44. Carbon dioxide is 44, fluorine is 19 into 2 is equal to 38. So the fluorine has lower MR, so it diffuses quickly, or it diffuses at the fastest rate at the same temperature and pressure. The option is D. Question number 5. Two particles K positive argon can be written as 1939 1840. Which statement about this particle is correct? Argon has more neutrons than K positive. Argon has 22 neutron, and potassium has 20 neutron. So argon has more neutron than potassium ion. This is correct. K has more neutron than nucleons than Ar. Potassium has more nucleon. This is incorrect. K positive has 20 electrons. So K positive is 18 electrons, and K positive has a greater mass than Ar. This is also incorrect. A option is correct. A mineral deposits is found to contain some small grains made entirely of the element carbon. Which property will definitely be true of the grains of carbon? They will be made of atoms arranged in layers. No. They will be soft. They will burn to give carbon dioxide. This property is definitely because carbon react with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. They will conduct electricity. Graphite conduct electricity, but diamond cannot. Which diagram shows the outer electron arrangement in calcium fluoride? Calcium has 2 valence electrons, while fluorine has 7 valence electrons. So calcium is metal after losing 2 electrons carrying 2 positive, and fluorine after gaining 1 electron carrying -1 to form CaF2. So two atoms of fluorine react with one atom of calcium. Which electron shows the outer electron arrangement in calcium fluoride? So this is calcium. This is not correct because sharing pair of electron. This is ionic bond, and sharing pairing takes place in the covalent. So A is incorrect. It is again sharing, also incorrect. C is fluoride ion is formed after gaining one electrons, and this fluoride also after gaining one electron. So calcium 2 positive losing two electrons from its outer shell. So C is correct option, carrying 2 positive. Calcium will not gains electrons. So this is of chlorine and electrons from fluorine atom. So this is also incorrect. How many shared pair of electrons are there in one carbon dioxide molecules? This is oxygen. This is oxygen. How many shared pairs of electrons are there in one carbon dioxide molecules? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So option is how many shared pairs of electron. So shared pairs, two pairs of electrons, four pairs, two by this oxygen atom, two by this oxygen atom, and this is four pairs shared. Option B is correct. Two statements about metals are correct. Metals contain a lattice of negative ions in a sea of lattice of positive ions in a sea of electrons. Uh, Statement 2, the electrical conductivity of metal is related to the mobility of the electrons in the structure. Yes, this is correct. This statement is correct. This is incorrect. Both statements are correct, and statement 1 explains statement 2. This is incorrect. Both statements are correct, but statement 1 does not explain. Both statements are not correct. Statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect, statement 2 is correct. So this is also incorrect statement. Statement 2 is correct and statement 1 is incorrect. This is correct option. Powdered calcium carbonate reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid to produce calcium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. What is the correct ionic equation including state symbols for this reaction? Calcium carbonate should be in solid state. Yes, this is correct. 2H positive ion, calcium 2 positive ion aqueous, water liquid, and carbon dioxide gas. So option D is correct. Question number: what mass of carbon dioxide contains the same number of atom as 16 gram of sulfur? Sulfur Ar is 32. So let's N is equal to 16 mass over Ar. N is equal to 16 divided by 32, which is equal to 0.5. What mass of carbon contains? So mass of carbon is equal to same number of atom, carbon ratio sulfur 1:1, so 0.5 ratio x. Mass of carbon is equal to mole into Ar, 0.5 into 12, which is equal to 6.0 gram. So B is correct option. 3 dm cube 3 dm cube of sulfur dioxide is reacted with 2 dm cube of oxygen. Assuming the reaction goes to completion and that all gases are at room temperature and pressure, which volume of sulfur trioxide is formed? So we have 3 mole 3 dm cube, and this is 2 dm cube. dm cube. So first calculate the limiting reactant. 3 dm cube. So this is 2 mole of sulfur dioxide. So first calculate the limiting mole and excess mole. Sulfur dioxide ratio oxygen. Sulfur dioxide has 2 mole, so 3 divided by 2 is equal to 1.5 moles, and this is 2 dm cube divided by 1, that is 2 dm cube. So if 1.5 dm cube of sulfur dioxide react with 1.5 dm cube of oxygen, then 0.5 dm cube of oxygen is left over. So it means oxygen is excess reactant and sulfur dioxide is limiting reactant. And we know that limiting reactant determine the mass of the product or volume of the product, because over here all are gases, all exist in gaseous state. So 3 dm cube, if 2 ratio 2, this is sulfur dioxide, this is sulfur trioxide, and 3 volume ratio x. So by using cross multiply, x is equal to 3 dm cube. So 3 dm cube is the correct option. Question number 13. A sample of magnesium hydroxide is made by adding an excess of aqueous sodium hydroxide to an aqueous solution containing 1.20 gram magnesium sulfate. The mass of magnesium hydroxide is 0.26 gram. Excess sodium hydroxide, Mg. What is the percentage yield of magnesium hydroxide? Magnesium hydroxide and in excess of sodium hydroxide, NaOH, to form MgSO4, MgSO4 plus NaOH. So 1.20 gram is produced from the mass of magnesium hydroxide formed is made by adding magnesium hydroxide is made by adding an excess. So the reaction is sodium hydroxide plus magnesium sulfate to form magnesium hydroxide plus Na2SO4. Sodium to an excess solution containing 1.20 gram of magnesium sulfate. What is the percentage yield of magnesium hydroxide? To an excess aqueous made by adding an excess of aqueous sodium hydroxide to an excess of solution containing 1.20 gram. 0.26 gram mass of is formed. This is experimental yield. And 1.26 gram of magnesium hydroxide, magnesium sulfate. We know the MR of magnesium is 24 plus 32 plus 64. This is 24 plus 32 plus 64 equal to 120. So this is 120 gram producing magnesium hydroxide is 24 plus 32 plus 2. This is equal to 24 plus 32 plus 2 equal to 58 gram. So what would be the mass of magnesium hydroxide is formed? So 1.20 gram producing X. By cross multiplying, we have X is equal to 58 multiplied by 1.20 divided by 120. This is equal to 58 into 1.0 is equal to divided by 120. This is equal to 0. X is equal to 0.58. Now percentage yield is calculated. Experimental yield is equal to experimental yield over theoretical yield. Experimental yield is this is experimental 0.26 divided by 0.58 into 100. This will be equal to 0.26 divided by 0.58 into 100. This is 44.8. C is correct option. Question number 14. When concentrated aqueous sodium chloride is electrolyzed using inert electrodes, with which product is formed at the cathode and which product is formed at the anode? So concentrated aqueous sodium chloride has sodium ion, chloride ion, H positive, OH negative. Anode 2Cl negative to form Cl2 plus 2 electron. Cathode 2H positive plus 2 electron to form H2 gas. Anode product is chlorine gas, and cathode product will be hydrogen. Option is A.